Today we're going to review the Flexio 570. The 570 is the smaller between the 570 and 590 by Wagner. We'll show you how it can spray latex paint, some of the differences between this unit and the 590, as well as some basic tips and guidance on properly setting it to get good results when you're doing some basic painting. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, today we're going to be showcasing the Flexio 570 series, and we're going to be showing the differences between that and a 590. And so some of the primary differences are this is a smaller unit. It costs about $20 less than the 590. It's suited for smaller surfaces rather than larger areas. You get one nozzle rather than two that you would get with the 590, and you get a little bit less control. There are basically two settings on the air power on the unit, and the fluid control is less variable as well. So it's a little cheaper, a little bit friendlier for very smaller surfaces and smaller projects. We'll go ahead and open it up, show you what you get. And this would be an okay unit for the homeowner doing a touch-up job, say maybe a fence, small fence, or small wall. I wouldn't be putting this unit to work for any large areas. Okay, so inside the box, you get the gun, a manual, covers all the details you need to know, nozzle, and cup container, about 1.5 quart, so decent for a single wall purpose, and then the actual sprayer itself. Assembly is going to be pretty quick and easy. It's just a screw on the front there. We'll screw on this nozzle and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so we went ahead and attached the tip. And so your adjustments here are pretty simple. You have how much turbine power. As I mentioned, the 570 gives you less different options compared to the 590. And then you have your material and your fan pattern control up here, and your material volume control here. And so that's the basics of the unit. We'll go ahead and do some spraying with this unit. As far as the GPM output, it's up to 7.2 gallons per hour. So it's decently suited for a single wall. And then you can see here some of the recommended applications. It's mainly suited for the more thick paints. The 590 comes with the fine finish detail nozzle, which would be a little more suitable for your thinner product, for your stains or furniture finishes. And it does have a little more controls as well, which makes it ideal for that. So let me go ahead. We'll get some paint together and show you this in action. All right, so we're going to show the Flexio 570 with latex, an industrial product called ProBlock from Sherwin-Williams. It's a thicker epoxy product, pre-mixed. So this would be a common furniture finish. We did this on a table recently on a backdrop for a local church. So it was a product we used and to paint that. And so it'd be a thick equivalent to a latex type product. As far as the difference between the 570 and 90, this is going to be a little slower compared to the 590, and then there's a little less adjustment. So you got your turbine speed and then your material control, 1 being the minimal amount of material and 12 being the most. And you'll notice compared to other unit, like a typical spray gun, you're not going to have quite as narrow or fine of a fan control. So if it was a really small project, this may be a little tougher to work with. For a large open space or a larger surface like a table that is being done, it would tend to do pretty well on. And then there is the difference with the 590. You also get the fine finish nozzle, which is a separate nozzle, gives you a little bit finer control of the pattern. So this one is going to show you more of the full spray. We'll start it at 1 with low turbine. And as you see at 1, I'm not getting any material. And I'll keep opening up till I get material with the max pattern. So at this point, I'm at about a 7. And if you can come in here,
on the low turbine setting, you can see I get a little bit of chunks in my paint. If I go over to high, it does a little bit better. And then what you want to aim for when you're setting this is enough material to get a good pattern, but you don't want excessive chunks in the finish. So right now I'm at about a 9 on high. If you see when I go to low, you can see there's a lot less breakup. And then when I go to high, I start to break up the paint a little better. So the settings are pretty simple. Fan patterns on the front here, and you can kind of adjust down or up, but as you choke down, you do lose some of the breakup. So we'll leave it on high. Compared to an airless sprayer, this is going to be slower. The finish quality is pretty similar to an airless with like a fine finish tip, but it is a little slower. It does tend to create a little less overspray. I don't see a lot of overspray in the booth. The surface target here is a little smaller as well, so this would work well. For a large wall, the 590 will be a little faster. For furniture finishing, touching up furniture, maybe an occasional smaller wall, this could probably do the trick okay. The 590 gives you a little more power. You can see kind of what the result is that we can get. This was also done with the 570 here. So both boards here were done with the 570. And it does a fairly decent job. It does take a few passes to get enough material on. And this product's a little thicker than a basic cabinet enamel or latex. So for the price point and kind of around the home, if you're not super critical of what you're gonna get from the finish, the 570 or 590 could be a valuable option for you. And so that kind of covers the settings for you, the low and high turbine setting, and the fan control. And if you have questions, you can leave them below. As far as cleanup goes, we went ahead and wiped down the pickup tube that's inside, made sure we get as much paint off of that as we can, get a clean cup of water, and it may take you a few runs with that. You can go ahead and run that water through the unit till you get primarily water coming out of your spray. It doesn't take a lot to clean up, which is an advantage to the unit. So we'll go ahead and run a little more clean water through till we're clean, but that's basics of cleaning the 570 or 590.